It's another Friday and we're back with a special half hour just for you, spotlighting some of the latest happenings across Jamaica. Sure, there's a flood of information out there competing for your attention, but stay with us. These are the stories shaping our island's growth, and they just might be the guide you need to navigate our ever-evolving paradise. I'm your host, Theodore Henry, and you've just opened the pages of Jamaica Magazine, and our newsroom is ready to bring you the latest updates first.
Good day, I'm Jabbertha Atkinson, and this is your JIS News for Friday, July 18, 2025. Nearly 8,000 Jamaicans have so far traveled for jobs under the Overseas Employment Program since the start of this year. Minister of Labour and Social Security Pernell Charles Jr. made the disclosure on Tuesday. He was addressing the latest group departing the island to take up employment opportunities in Canada under the Seasonal Agricultural Workers Program.
We have almost 75%, well, more than 75%, almost 90% that are returning, 10% new. And many going back to the same farms because they've done a stellar job and they have been requested.
The minister assured the farmers that he would soon meet with liaison officers to ensure they were conducting more farm visits and making themselves more accessible to workers.
Farm workers, we are paying for a service to protect you, to make sure you have people in Canada and in the US to help you. The liaison officers are there to make sure that you have someone to lean on, you have someone to call, you have an office that is there to make sure that your interest is served. Make sure you use it to your best benefit. Do not sit down and say to yourself, I can't, them no one help me, I can't get in touch with them. If that is happening, you must let your minister know.
The National Water Commission NWC is in the process of reviewing documents for the rehabilitation of the Hermitage Dam in St. Andrew. Acting President of the NWC, Garth Jackson, says the scope of work will involve extending the serviceability and design life of the dam. It's to include installation of the grouting and drainage screens, protection of the fault zone, rehabilitation of the intake tower pipework, repair of the walkway bridge, and installation of dam monitoring instruments.
In addition to that, however, we are actually in the process now of looking at an assessment of options for increasing storage at the Hermitage Dam. And that is going to involve, there are a couple of options we need to look at. We're going to look at whether we should raise the spillway level or whether we will need to install or to construct additional dams either before or after the existing Hermitage Dam.
The NWC president was speaking at a press briefing on Wednesday. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, is planning to launch new routes in the western end of the island starting September. Transport Minister Darrell Vaz revealed the plan on Wednesday during a ceremony to hand over 93 buses to the JUTC in Portmore.
We'll be doing Montego Bay to Savlamar, Lucy to Negril, Montego Bay to Cornwall Courts Green Pond, Montego Bay to Lucy, and other upcoming routes in the pipeline, Savlamar to White House, and Falmouth to Wakefield. Further route assessments continue, Prime Minister, because we are going to reach into every nook and cranny of Jamaica to provide reliable, economic, and safe transportation for our citizens.
In the meantime, he reveals that Montego Bay Metro's fleet has grown significantly, moving from just 6 buses in August 2024 to 22 as of July 2025.
The growth trajectory is expected to continue, and they are expected to receive an additional 10 buses, which will be buses that are currently in the KMTR, that are going to be replaced with new buses, and they will get some of the buses that were bought last year or the year before.
Minister of Health and Wellness, Dr. Christopher Tufton, is advocating for Jamaica to take a more ardent approach to allowing persons who are capable to continue working after retirement age. The health minister argues that this must be a part of a mix of solutions considered for addressing the current reality of an aging population, low fertility rate, and the gaps in the labor force due to migration. This approach, he says, would be significant for the health sector.
I would like to see more of our retired nurses, for example, come back into the system in a more structured way, because I believe they have a lot to offer.
He suggests that the laws may need to be changed to allow for a limited number of hours for persons who have reached retirement and are able and willing to continue working.
There may need to be a secondary approach to our legislation around the labor laws to allow. I'll tell you, I've had, on any given year, I've had at least 10, 12 approaches by persons who have reached the legal retirement age of 65, who have appealed to me almost emotionally why they want more time. They're not so sure how they would go home to sit down and do nothing when they do believe they have the skills, the energy, and the drive to continue to do something.
Minister Tufton was speaking at the recent launch of the revised National Population and Sustainable Development Policy for the country. Groundbreaking for the National Stadium redevelopment is slated for August 2025, with full construction to begin next year. That update came from the Minister of Sport, Olivia Grange, during a press conference on Wednesday. The phased development is scheduled to span 3 years, completing in 2029. Minister Grange says the redeveloped facility will feature increased seating capacity, 90% roof coverage, tiered parking, and a range of other modern amenities that align with international standards.
The improved National Stadium is an investment in our athletes and will provide more comfort for people, for audiences and fans, and we must ensure that our facilities are in the best state for athletes to train and to perform. And we have also taken into consideration facilities for persons with disabilities.
The project is primarily funded by the Government of Jamaica under a framework for cooperation with the United Kingdom. It includes a detailed economic and feasibility study to identify both the local and international market demand and economic viability.
I'm pleased with the work of the United Kingdom firms, Ryder Architecture and CAA Icon, and just to commend the team and the British High Commission for its support.
The stadium will remain open during construction, with phased development planned to minimize disruption. And finally, residents of Malcolm Heights in Lucy, Hanover, and the surrounding areas now have access to the rehabilitated Lord's Multipurpose Court thanks to the Spruce Up Jamaica initiative. It was spearheaded by the Tourism Product Development Company TPDCO, an agency within the Ministry of Tourism. During the handover ceremony recently, Tourism Minister Edmund Bartlett praised the Spruce Up Jamaica initiative, which has delivered 365 community projects across the island.
So this is what real development looks like. This is a space not to be forgotten. That the people of Malcolm Heights matter. That's what she said to us. That the places where they gather, play, and grow are important as anywhere else in the country.
The Spruce Up initiative is a community-based tourism enhancement program that focuses on improving public spaces, restoring heritage sites, and enhancing cultural and recreational facilities while fostering community pride and involvement.
This court will be a training ground for our young athletes, a gathering spot for youth meetings, health fairs, and community events, and a safe central space for families to connect, cheer, and celebrate together.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Jabbertha Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
The past has shaped us, but the future, it's powered by connection. For 20 years, The Universal Service Fund has been bridging the digital divide, with over 400 public Wi-Fi hotspots lighting up verandas, homes, and hopes. From classrooms to communities, USF powers access to opportunity, helping youth dream bigger, learn smarter, earn online, and helping families stay close, even from far away. One mission, 2 decades, thousands of lives transformed. Connected at 20, committed for a lifetime. The Universal Service Fund, connecting you to more.
Thank you for staying with us. Just as humans need air, water, and food to survive, agriculture relies on key essentials to grow and thrive. In our upcoming feature, we highlight how the Ministry of Agriculture is supporting the sector with these vital resources to sustain food production.
The agricultural sector is undergoing a major transformation. Digging wells, laying pipelines, and the seeds and feeds to drive the sector forward are being provided by the government. At the Ebony Park Agro Park, pipeline installation is nearing completion to irrigate an additional 120 acres, thereby boosting productivity. A standout initiative is the Essex Valley Agricultural Development Project in St. Elizabeth, which is driving large-scale irrigation and clean energy expansion across the region. Already more than 60 kilometers of irrigation pipeline have been installed, bringing water where it's needed most.
This is a new era of irrigation.
Another game-changing initiative, the Pedro Plains Irrigation Expansion Project in southwest St. Elizabeth, is set to break ground this year.
Cabinet has already approved a $23.6 billion project that will tap into the Black River surface flow and will expand irrigated production and increase productivity for 6,000 farmers across 4,000 hectares of land.
The irrigation revolution doesn't stop there. Efforts are underway to identify a second well site in Yala St. Thomas to support the irrigation of another 120 hectares.
In Lucky Hill Pen, in St. Mary, 2 wells have been dug. One has already been developed, while the second one is awaiting testing. We're going to irrigate 91 hectares.
In Lennox and Lower Leighton, Portland, designs are being drafted for a new well to bring 95 hectares under irrigation.
Together with the Pedro Plains initiative, these projects will expand irrigation to approximately 5,000 hectares.
Beyond irrigation, the ministry is planting deeper roots for agricultural growth. A seed and nursery certification unit is being established to ensure farmers have access to high-quality certified seeds.
We have a seed bank at Borders, a seed processing facility, and this year we are implementing a gene bank to ensure that we capture our local varieties.
The transformation also stretches to the coastlines, where the ministry is tackling one of the biggest costs in agriculture, fish feed.
We've started research, we've brought in an extruder and a pulverizer. We're training some fishers in mill operations to see if we can design our own locally made fish feed. The seeds have been planted, the path is clear. We will usher Jamaica into a new era of prosperity because above all things, we choose Jamaica.
Whatever you do, don't be this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your lifeguard speaking. For your safety and that of those around you, please listen carefully to what I'm going to say next. Whenever possible, swim at a beach with a lifeguard on duty or where signs indicate that swimming is safe. 2. This should probably be number 1, but learn how to swim. 3. Stay in the designated swimming area. 4. Read and follow all guidelines and never swim alone. 5. If you fall into difficulty, raise your hand in the air and call for help. 6. Pay attention to local weather conditions and forecasts. 7. If you observe someone in distress, tell a lifeguard, or if you don't see one, phone 119 or 110 and request a Coast Guard. And before you swim off with this information, my friend Bernard has another tip for you.
Everywhere you go, I see a fishing vessel like those small ones up there in the harbor. Anywhere you go and see those small vessels, that's the safest area to swim.
Ever heard of Christmas in July? Well, here's a synopsis. It's an annual trade show and promotional event put on by the Ministry of Tourism and its partners to spotlight Jamaican-made products for the holiday season. Up next, we share the success story of one standout participant.
Body by Roxan and Company started when I became just more conscious of the products I was using, the foods I was eating. I became very aware of the ingredients that were in the things that I love to use. And I just wanted to create products that smelled the same, felt the same, had the same sensory experience, but came from a more holistic perspective using natural ingredients. When I heard about Christmas in July for the first time, I thought that it would have been a good platform for me to introduce my business to the wider world or to a wider audience. So when I signed up, I came to an assessment session where, they had the different regulatory bodies. There was the BSJ, that's Bureau of Standards. JBDC was there. They looked over your products, looked over your label to say, whether it was up to standard, give you feedback if you need to do anything, if you need to change or tweak anything, just to make sure that your product was fit for shelves or to be sold. My first Christmas in July, that was when I got my first client, which was Things Jamaican, and I ended up in the 3 Things Jamaican locations through that. From that now, I started to participate in the TEF programs, the networking events, speed networking in particular, where we get to engage with different hotels. There are a lot of hoteliers. You get a little 5 to 10 minutes to pitch your products to them to see if it would be a good fit for their establishment. And I have participated in that event 3 times. The first time I wasn't so successful. I didn't get any callbacks. You'll get a lot of leads sometimes, but it doesn't always pan out. What matters is that you stay consistent. And then on my second time participating in a speed networking event, I managed to secure some accounts then, and then after that some more. But in between those stagings, if there are other networking events, and then on my own through myself and my employees, we do put in the groundwork from the connections we made, and that's how we are able to secure as many locations as we have. So we're in about 19 different hotels across the islands, also some pharmacies, duty-free locations. Christmas in July, it is great. It's a great initiative, of course, because it really gives you the platform to, as I said, for exposure, to put your products out there. But sometimes it's not as easy as it sounds, because you will make the connections, but it requires a lot of follow-up. Sometimes the first, second, third time, you will not get a call back. It's really the law of averages. If it is that you want to secure 1 client, you have to make at least 10 connections. If you say you need 2 clients, you have to make 20 connections. So you just have to keep putting yourself out there, participating in the events, and just keep networking. You have to stay consistent, because it doesn't come overnight. And if I said that it did, I would be lying to you. But it's a lot of hard work, constant following up. And yeah, I mean, it will pay off eventually. It's a journey. I would love to thank the organizers, for just putting on this event, for giving local manufacturers, small businesses, the platform to really show the world what Brand Jamaica is about, and to show that we have world-class products of world-class quality right here in Jamaica that are fit for the international stage. We don't have to look anywhere else.
Persons can now make payment of their police record through Tax Administration Jamaica TAJ's mobile app found on the Google Play Store.
It's a ABC123. Very easy for you to follow the steps in making your payments. Once that is done, the application will actually send you a notification to say that you have successfully done your transaction. And then following that, you will actually get what we call, you'll actually get two notices. You'll actually get one from your bank, from the application to say that your bank transaction has been completed. And then the second one that you'll get is from Tax Administration's application now, which will say that you have been successful, and you'll actually get what we call a statement of payment with a reference number on it, and that's the reference number that you'll use here forward.
Signing up is free and is currently available on Android phones and tablets.
Next, we take a closer look at how entrepreneurs can achieve success with insights and practical guidance provided by the Jamaica Business Development Corporation, JBDC.
Operating a successful and resilient business is no easy achievement. This is usually driven by the more business savvy, with a passion and a know-how, backed by a system and network that provides valuable support from concept to market. As Jamaica navigates its way to economic independence through entrepreneurial growth and wealth creation, it is important to set our business foundations on firm ground with the guidance available within the various agents of government as well as from successful entrepreneurs.
At times we have to pause, we have to think, we have to reflect, and we also have to plan in terms of the continuity. It's never too late to learn new lessons, never too late to understand the experiences of others. In terms of business surviving, it's never a one-man show. And I always say to persons, there's a reason why you have a marketing personnel, you have someone doing distribution, you have another person doing finances. It's really a team effort. And when you meet up on the hurdles, the bumps, those potholes in the road, it's always that person there to push you beyond.
You have to have grit and grind to move forward. I would say you can move forward by innovation, and you have to back it up with strong management. There's a lot of moving pieces in business. A lot of things are changing, and it's a very dynamic thing. And what you start out doing, or what you think you'll be doing, you have to do a lot more. So, definite grit and grind to get through, and innovate to move forward, and manage to keep things moving in the right direction. Good support from the government in terms of, we've had access to the DBJ Innovation Grant. We've had other grants that have helped us to put our innovation into reality, to allow us to create a step to move forward. We have to create a niche and work that niche.
Given that you're in the business that you are, do you manufacture? Do you process anything?
Yes.
Did you use the productive input relief that the Ministry of Industry, Investment and Commerce has for manufacturers?
Yes, we've used it.
So you avoided the duty and all those fees?
Yes, we use it, and we also farm, so we've used it as a farmer, the PIR as a farmer, and I know it's available to manufacturers also. So we have used it to bring in equipment.
JBDC works to ensure that every single Jamaican entrepreneur is afforded the opportunity to succeed. We understand that resilience is not only about one's ability to weather storms or respond to shocks in the marketplace. It's about building a business that is strong to the core, structured to endure challenges, and designed to seize opportunities for growth. Resilience also depends on the ability to adapt and evolve, which is why at JBDC, we speak about and we encourage a culture of continuous learning. At JBDC, we provide comprehensive support for MSMEs, enabling them to build on their own strength. From technical services to financial and strategic strengthening and market readiness programs, we focus on equipping entrepreneurs with the tools that they need to lay a solid foundation for sustainable growth. These days, we have to provide our learning for our entrepreneurs where they are, whenever they wish for it. And this is the way the world has gone. We exist in a global digital world. Digital transformation is no longer a nice-to-have thing for entrepreneurs. It's a need-to-have, it's a must-have. And it not only facilitates operational efficiencies, but it is a gateway for global trade in the marketplace that is largely digital.
Everything you do as a business, whether it's a service where you sell knowledge, or you sell a service that you do, or it's a product that you're creating, you must look to say, how can I export this? How can I make my market bigger?
Continue to be innovative, continue to be creative, and don't forget about being disruptive in the global market space.
The government can just brighten up the pedestrian, ensure that it is more safer for a pedestrian.
They can put a sign up say pedestrian crossing, or leave always have somebody to cross people across the road.
Each pedestrian crossing have a sign there. If you need to have somebody who could direct them.
You have to have a place where you put them and learn them and teach them how to guide themselves on the road.
We still can build a place that will take in people off the street and teach them how that means when they come out the year back, they have principle.
We've come to the end of our program. For a full recap and more, visit our website at jis.gov.jm. I'm Theodore Henry. Bye for now.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.